She was Cleopatra VII, known as Philopator. Her reign marked the final era of independent Ptolemaic rule. She was the last active pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Cleopatra remains one of history's most captivating figures, yet she is also one of the most profoundly misunderstood. Her image has often been distorted by myth and legend. Popular culture frequently portrays her solely as a seductive queen. This romanticized view overshadows her true nature. It reduces her to a figure defined only by her relationships. The real Cleopatra was far more complex. She was a shrewd politician of exceptional skill. She was a brilliant strategist in a dangerous world. She fiercely defended her ancient kingdom. She navigated the turbulent currents of Roman expansion. Her life was a constant struggle for survival and sovereignty. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC. Her birthplace was the vibrant city of Alexandria. This city was the intellectual and cultural heart of the Hellenistic world. She was of Macedonian Greek descent. Her lineage was purely Hellenistic. The Ptolemaic dynasty had ruled Egypt for nearly 3 centuries. Her ancestry traced directly back to Ptolemy III Soter. He was one of Alexander the Great's most trusted generals. Ptolemy I founded the dynasty after Alexander's death. Cleopatra possessed a remarkable intellect. She was fluent in numerous languages. Crucially, she mastered the ancient Egyptian tongue. This linguistic skill set her apart. Most of her Ptolemaic predecessors spoke only Greek. They remained largely detached from the native population. Cleopatra actively embraced Egyptian culture. She participated in religious ceremonies. She presented herself as a true pharaoh to her people. This cultural embrace endeared her to the Egyptians. It fostered a sense of legitimacy and connection. It contrasted sharply with the aloofness of previous rulers. Her ability to speak Egyptian was particularly significant. It allowed her to communicate directly with her subjects. This built loyalty and understanding. She understood the power of tradition and symbolism. She leveraged Egyptian customs for political advantage. This deep connection strengthened her position. Unlike her ancestors, she was not a distant foreign ruler. She was a queen who walked among her people. She spoke their language and respected their ways. This cultural fluency was a key asset. It provided a stable base of support. This support would prove vital in her later struggles. Her early life in the palace was steeped in intrigue. The Ptolemaic court was notorious for its power struggles. Sibling rivalries and assassinations were common. She witnessed firsthand the brutal realities of power. This environment shaped her into a formidable and cautious leader. It prepared her for the challenges ahead. Cleopatra's reign was marked by intense political intrigue. It was a period of constant power struggles. The stability of the kingdom was always under threat. She ascended the throne at a young age. She was just 18 years old. The circumstances of her ascension were complex and contested. Initially, she ruled alongside her younger brother Ptolemy III. This co-regency was a common practice in the Ptolemaic dynasty. It was intended to ensure continuity. Royal siblings were often married to each other. This was done to keep power within the family. These familial alliances were frequently fraught with conflict. Cleopatra's relationship with Ptolemy III quickly deteriorated. Their advisors vied for influence. The court split into rival factions. Her brother's faction eventually gained the upper hand. They successfully maneuvered against her. This led to her temporary downfall. She was driven into exile around 49 BC. She fled to Syria with her sister, Arsinoe. From there, she began plotting her return. She sought support to reclaim her throne. Her opportunity arose with the arrival of Julius Caesar in Egypt. Caesar came pursuing his rival, Pompey. Cleopatra saw Caesar as a potential ally. She famously arranged to meet him. The details of their first encounter are legendary. She needed Roman power to restore her. Caesar needed Egypt's wealth and grain supply. Their alliance was fueled by political necessity. Their relationship quickly deepened. It became both a political partnership and reportedly a personal one. This alliance shifted the balance of power in Egypt. Caesar intervened in the Egyptian civil war. His forces defeated Ptolemy III's army. This victory solidified Cleopatra's claim to the throne. Caesar helped restore her to power. She returned to Alexandria as the undisputed ruler. Her brother Ptolemy III died during the conflict. She then ruled alongside another younger brother, Ptolemy XIV. This was another nominal co-regency. Cleopatra held the real power. During Caesar's stay in Egypt, Cleopatra bore him a son. The boy was named Ptolemy Caesar. He was commonly known as Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. Caesarion's birth further cemented the alliance. It gave Cleopatra a powerful connection to Rome's most influential figure. It also created potential complications for the future. Cleopatra visited Rome with Caesarion. She stayed in Caesar's villa. Her presence in Rome caused a stir among the Roman elite. She observed Roman politics firsthand. She understood the dynamics of power in the Republic. This experience would prove invaluable. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC changed everything. His death plunged Rome into civil war. Cleopatra lost her most powerful protector. She returned to Egypt after Caesar's death. She reportedly had her co-ruler brother Ptolemy XIII poisoned. She then elevated Caesarion to co-regent. Now, ruling with her young son, Cleopatra focused on strengthening Egypt. She managed the kingdom's resources carefully. She prepared for the inevitable shifts in Roman power. The Roman world was divided among Caesar's successors. The most prominent were Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, and Mark Antony, his leading general. Cleopatra had to choose her path carefully. Following Caesar's assassination, Rome was in turmoil. A second triumvirate was formed to restore order. Its members were Octavian, Mark Antony, and Marcus Lepidus. The triumvirs divided the Roman world among themselves. Antony took control of the eastern provinces. This brought him into direct contact with Egypt. Cleopatra recognized the need for a powerful Roman ally. She aligned herself with Mark Antony. This alliance would define the latter part of her reign. Their first meeting took place in Tarsus in 41 BC. Cleopatra made a grand entrance. She arrived on a magnificent barge, presenting herself as a goddess. Their relationship quickly became both personal and political. Antony was captivated by her intelligence and charisma. He was also drawn to Egypt's wealth. Cleopatra saw Antony as a means to secure her kingdom. She needed his military and financial support. He needed Egypt's resources for his campaigns. Their relationship further solidified her position. Antony provided crucial military backing. This helped her suppress internal dissent and external threats. Antony's support allowed her to expand her influence. She reclaimed territories that had belonged to the Ptolemaic kingdom. These included parts of Syria and Cilicia. She aimed to restore the former glory of the Ptolemaic Empire. Antony's resources made this ambition seem possible. Their alliance was mutually beneficial, at least initially. Cleopatra bore Antony 3 children. They had twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene. Later, they had another son, Ptolemy Philadelphus. These children further bound Cleopatra and Antony together. They represented a potential new dynasty. This union was viewed with suspicion in Rome. Antony's relationship with Cleopatra challenged Octavian. Octavian was Caesar's adopted son, and Antony's main rival for power in Rome. He saw Antony's Eastern alliance as a threat. Octavian began a propaganda campaign against Antony. He portrayed Antony as being under Cleopatra's spell. He depicted Cleopatra as a foreign temptress undermining Roman values. He accused Antony of neglecting his Roman duties. He claimed Antony intended to move the capital to Alexandria. He painted their union as a decadent Eastern threat. Antony's actions fueled Octavian's narrative. He granted Cleopatra and their children Roman territories. He participated in Egyptian ceremonies, dressing in foreign attire. The tension between Octavian and Antony escalated. It became clear that their rivalry would lead to conflict. Cleopatra and Egypt were inextricably linked to Antony's fate. Cleopatra actively supported Antony. She provided ships, supplies, and funds for his military campaigns. Her resources were essential to his operations in the East. She was not merely a passive consort, she was an active partner in their alliance. She participated in strategic discussions and decisions. Their combined power was formidable. They controlled vast territories in the East. However, they faced a determined and politically astute opponent in Octavian. The stage was set for a final confrontation. The fate of Egypt and the Roman world hung in the balance. Cleopatra stood by Antony, ready for the inevitable conflict. The rivalry between Octavian and Antony culminated in war. Octavian convinced the Roman Senate to declare war. The target was not Antony directly, but Cleopatra. This strategic move framed the conflict differently. It was presented as a war against a foreign queen. This made it easier to gain support in Rome. The decisive confrontation occurred at the Battle of Actium. This naval battle took place off the coast of Greece in 31 BC. It pitted Octavian's forces against Antony and Cleopatra's fleet. The battle was chaotic and fiercely fought. At a critical moment, Cleopatra's squadron withdrew. Antony followed her, abandoning his remaining ships and men. The reasons for their withdrawal are debated by historians. Some suggest it was a planned escape. Others believe it was a panicked flight. Regardless of the cause, the effect was devastating. Octavian's forces achieved a decisive victory. Antony and Cleopatra's fleet was destroyed or captured. The defeat at Actium was catastrophic. It effectively ended Antony's military power. It sealed the fate of both Antony and Cleopatra. They retreated to Egypt. Octavian pursued them relentlessly. His forces invaded Egypt the following year. As Octavian's army approached Alexandria, Antony's remaining forces deserted him. Facing utter defeat, Antony attempted suicide. he inflicted a mortal wound upon himself. Cleopatra had taken refuge in her mausoleum. Antony was brought to her and died in her arms. She was now alone and facing capture. She knew the fate that awaited her in Rome. Octavian intended to parade her through the streets. This would be the ultimate humiliation for the proud queen. Faced with defeat and the prospect of Roman triumph, Cleopatra made her choice. She decided to take her own life. She refused to be displayed as a trophy. The exact method of her death is uncertain. The most famous account involves the bite of an asp. This story was popularized by ancient writers like Plutarch. Other possibilities include poison. Regardless of the means, her death was deliberate. It was a final act of defiance against Roman subjugation. She likely died on August 12, 30 BC. With her death, the Ptolemaic dynasty ended. Egypt became a Roman province. Octavian, soon to be known as Emperor Augustus, had triumphed. He had eliminated his rivals and absorbed Egypt into his growing empire. The age of the pharaohs was over. Cleopatra's death marked a pivotal moment in history. It signified the end of the Hellenistic era. It ushered in the age of the Roman Empire. Cleopatra's legacy is complex and multifaceted. She is often remembered through the lens of Roman propaganda and later Romanticism. This has obscured her true nature. She was a skilled ruler who navigated treacherous political waters. She ruled for over 2 decades. This was a remarkable achievement in such a volatile period. She was a woman who defied expectations in a patriarchal world. She held absolute power in a society dominated by men. She negotiated with the most powerful figures of her time as an equal. Her romantic relationships with Caesar and Antony often overshadowed her political achievements. These relationships were undoubtedly important, but they were tools of statecraft as much as personal connections. The real Cleopatra was a formidable leader. She was highly educated, multilingual, and politically astute. She prioritized the survival and prosperity of her kingdom. She fought fiercely to preserve her kingdom and power until the very end. Her life was a testament to her ambition, intelligence, and resilience. She faced overwhelming odds with courage. Her story is a blend of ambition, intelligence, and tragedy. It is a narrative of a queen fighting for her throne against the rising tide of Roman power. It is a tale of alliances, love, and loss. Cleopatra continues to fascinate and inspire. She's been the subject of countless books, plays, and films. Each generation reinterprets her story. Her enduring appeal lies in her complexity. She was a queen, a mother, a lover, and a politician. She embodied the clash between East and West. Through her life and death, she solidified her place. She remains one of history's most iconic figures. Her legend continues to capture the imagination of the world.